You won't believe how this ended. I sure as hell don't. And if you think you're ready for this story, just remember that some doors aren't meant to be opened, especially when they've been locked from the outside for decades. My grandfather passed away in early spring. He was the quiet type, lived alone in a farmhouse out in rural Pennsylvania. I only saw him maybe once or twice a year growing up. He and my father didn't really talk. No one ever explained why, but when he died, he left the house to me. I wasn't particularly thrilled about inheriting a creaky old place full of dust and dead mice, but I agreed to drive out for a weekend, sort through his things, and sign the documents. It was a beautiful drive, endless trees, quiet roads. That kind of peace you only get when you're far from cell signal. The house itself was old but sturdy. Brick chimney, porch swing, rusty well pump. I unlocked the front door and stepped inside. The smell hit me immediately: wood, mold, and something else. Something old, not foul, just forgotten. I walked room to room, nothing out of the ordinary. A few crosses on the walls, a shelf full of old medicine bottles, framed photos of my father as a child. Then I found the basement door. It was padlocked from the inside. That stopped me cold. Who locks a basement from the inside? I searched the house and finally found the key tucked inside a jar of nails in the garage. When I opened the basement door, a wave of cold air rushed up. It felt like the house exhaled. The wooden steps groaned as I descended, flashlight in hand. The bulb overhead didn't work. Everything below smelled damp and metallic. The basement was filled with cluttered tools, jars, books, taxidermy animals in boxes. But what caught my eye was the stone wall across the room. It was too smooth, too new, and like the rest of the foundation, this wall had no cracks, no water stains, just a flat gray slab. And in the center, a door, old iron, with strange markings carved into it. No knob, just a sliding bolt on the outside. My blood ran cold. The bolt was rusted shut. I should have stopped there, called someone, left. But something about that door, it felt like it wanted to be opened. I grabbed the crowbar and forced the bolt free. The door creaked open into darkness so thick it swallowed my flashlight beam. The air was colder than any basement had a right to be. I stepped inside. The room was small. Stone walls, dirt floor, chains bolted into the wall on one side, a wooden chair in the center, and something carved into the floor: circles, lines, and symbols that didn't look Christian, that didn't look human. I turned around to leave and the door slammed shut behind me. I screamed, pounded, nothing. My flashlight flickered. Then I heard it, breathing, not mine, slow, wheezing breaths coming from the corner. I swung the light around and froze. Something was crouched there, pale, thin, eyes like marbles, hair long and matted. It didn't move, just watched me. I backed toward the door, fumbled for the bolt, but it wouldn't budge. Then the thing spoke. "Why did you open it?" Its voice was cracked, like dry leaves. "Why now?" I didn't answer. Couldn't. I was frozen. "He kept me in," it whispered. "He fed me. He prayed. Then he died. And now you've opened the door." It stood up. I swear it wasn't human. Too tall. Its arms too long. I kicked the door, slammed into it again and again until finally it opened. I bolted up the stairs, slammed the basement door, locked it, and ran outside. I slept in my car with the lights on. The next morning, I called a locksmith and had the basement door sealed with a steel plate. I left that day. Never signed the papers. Never came back. Tried to forget. But a week later, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Just a note. "The door doesn't close anymore." I moved across the country. Got a new phone number. But sometimes, at night, I hear something breathing on the other side of my closet. and I haven't opened it since. That should have been the end of it, but the nightmares came next. Every night I dream of the basement, except now it's deeper. Like the room is stretching farther underground. The thing inside is closer each time. Last night, it whispered a name. Mine. During the day, I find dirt on the floor, black streaks on the wall. Even though I clean obsessively, I changed apartments, cities. I even stayed in a hotel with no closets just to get sleep. But it still finds me in reflections and shadows. I checked my old voicemail last week, and there was a message, just heavy breathing, and 3 knocks. I went back to the farmhouse. I needed to see if the plate was still there. It wasn't. The door was gone. Just a hole, a tunnel, actually, leading down. I don't know what made me do it, but I went in. I walked for what felt like hours. The walls were dirt and stone, but the markings were still there, those inhuman symbols. I found another room. Larger, more chains, bones, human bones, and something else, a mirror. I looked into it. My reflection blinked, then smiled. I didn't. That's when I ran. I haven't told anyone what I saw there, but since then, I haven't seen my reflection at all. Not in mirrors, not in windows, not in water, nothing. I think whatever I freed took my place. But it didn't stop there. I started getting texts from unknown numbers. Messages that looked like things only I would know, childhood memories, secrets, dreams I'd forgotten. One text simply said, "Enjoy my skin." I changed phones again, but they kept coming. Then people started treating me differently. Friends told me I'd said things I didn't remember. Coworkers claimed I'd been rude or cold. I started to question if maybe I really was changing, becoming whatever I saw in that room. Or maybe it was becoming me. I went to a psychologist. She listened, took notes. Then, during our 3rd session, she said something strange. "You're not the first to tell me this story," she whispered, "and you won't be the last." I left her office shaking. That night, she was found dead. They said it was suicide. I don't believe that. And now, sometimes, when I'm alone, I hear footsteps that match mine perfectly, like an echo, but delayed. I see doors ajar that I closed. I hear whispers from inside the walls. I don't think I escaped. I think the real me is still down there, chained up, screaming in the dark. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you ever inherit a house with a sealed basement, burn it. Don't go inside. Don't open the door. Don't make my mistake.